I really wish I had my lip gloss.
I couldn't find it.
And you looked in the back because what happened was after the marathon, we took everything out of the stroller and put it in the back.
Yes, the marathon.
It's 10K. All right, ready? Are we rolling? Okay. Welcome to Two Parents and a Podcast. We are two parents who, well, I slept last night thanks to you, but you didn't sleep. Like, how many hours do you think you slept?
There's like the building up. I wish I had a good comparison for it. You've built up so much goodwill on the sleep sacrifice side that last night is a drop in the bucket, or isn't even a drop in the bucket relative to how I've been sleeping versus how you've been sleeping. So it was my pleasure to step up. Do you want to explain what happened?
No, we're going to get into it.
Okay.
We'll talk about sleep regression and crying it out versus
Okay.
not and all that later. Cool. But the first thing that I would like to tackle is that our little girl, she's eating solids left, right, and center. And she eats them twice a day. So Maria feeds her during the day, whatever we give her, right? Today it was liquid beef. Sometimes it's a banana. Yesterday it was a banana. Sometimes it's an avocado. And then at night, you feed her.
Yes, this is true.
And Julie and I were kind of discussing earlier, and we were like trying to draw some comparisons between the two. And it was the craziest thing. Yesterday we watched her give Tate a banana and then just pops Tate right out. She was clean as could be. And then I was watching you last night. You were feeding, and this food is all over her face. It is in her clothes. It's ingrained in her clothes.
She eats how I eat when she's with me.
Only when she's with you.
Yeah, exactly. I show her the ways.
When she's with Maria, she's like taking clean bites.
Yeah, well, did you expect anything else from me?
You're our chief solids officer. You're our CSO of the house.
She's doing so good.
She loves them. She eats the whole thing. But what I can't figure out is like people said food is fun under one. That's the saying.
I don't think that's our case. She's getting significant calories. That pack that I gave her last night was 90 calories.
And we Googled it, and a bottle of breast milk is 5 ounces of breast milk is 98 calories. So they're pretty comparable. But the thing about it is after she had the liquid beef packet, she still wanted her milky.
Yeah, but some days when she's like had that packet, she does skip a bottle. And that's how we got like the excess bottles.
She's so cute. She knows she's eating with you and she looks at you. Like she'll take a bite and she's so proud of herself. Then she'll look at you like, did you see that bite? And it's like, yeah, I gave it to you. But she loves eating with you.
Yeah, I can't. Well, it's fun. Very fun. First one of hopefully many new memories to build together. But I'm just proud of how good she's doing.
I'm just glad she's liking it. You know, because you got to take your wins where you get them. Like we're going to get into it later. She doesn't like to sleep.
After the first time we gave her solids, I thought that it was going to be 6 months of like dabbling with it. And I didn't realize that she was actually going to eat meals.
So one thing I want to try that the neighbors, we went with the neighbors last night to eat at a neighborhood joint, which I ordered French fries at a Mexican joint. And neighbor boy took one of the French fries and he wetted it with his mouth and then gave it to her. I think we should try that.
I'm like not comfortable yet with food outside of purees.
Okay.
Like I kind of
well, you gave her Terry Black's. Don't be lying. You took her to the barbecue joint and he called me. Harrison called me. He's like, I fed her turkey.
Yeah, I gave her a bit of Terry Black's turkey.
Tell us about that moment. Was it the highlight of your day?
Well, what happened is Terry Black's obviously like it is amazing, and I feel like they're most well known for their beef rib and their brisket, which are worth the hype. I think their most underrated item, though, is the turkey. I've never had turkey as good as their turkey. So I always go half and half. So I did half brisket, half turkey. And with the turkey, she just like kept clawing at it. And it got to a point where she started like making a ton of noise. So I broke off just like a tiny, tiny piece and gave it to her. Just slurped it right down and then went in for a second. And I was like, okay, like let's pause. But yeah, she loved it. But she like, you know, with her signaling, she was very clear that she wanted the turkey.
That is so cute.
Yeah.
Because she's learning like what you put in your mouth, then she can put stuff in her mouth too. Terry Black's, it was crazy. We finished the 10K And we were like 5 steps away from Terry Black's, which I guess must open at 11.
I think so.
Because we got there at 10:53 and the line was, I mean, that was like a moment for you. Like I was like happy for you.
Yeah, by the time we left, that line must have been 2 hours long.
But I had that brisket in the car because I was so hungry. I don't know if I've ever had their brisket. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, it doesn't miss. We did burnt ends too.
Oh, yum. All right, let's do the housing update because you guys, it's top of mind over here. It is, we are quite literally from when we're recording this, we're supposed to move out in a week.
Do you want me to go or do you want to go?
I think you should just take it away. Well, one thing I will say about this whole housing situation, you take it away, me, I'll talk, is you really don't, for some reason, I'm sorry that I keep doing this to you, but I keep like defaulting for you to kind of handle it. And you keep like scheduling these times with me, like today at 10:30. You were like, we have to sit down and you're not allowed to get up from the table because I really need to talk to you about the housing situation. And you said your number one thing is like you don't make the decision alone.
Yeah, I really want this to be a full-fledged group decision.
It's a really hard decision.
Yeah, it's really stressful.
And I don't think I'm helping you enough. And so I would like to publicly say sorry.
Thank you. You're
trying
doing
to.
great, but now that the rubber is meeting the road, we need 50% voice share at the table.
Well, it's literally the biggest decision we can make. And for some reason, I just want to like close my eyes and have you make it and me open them and see where we land. But I need to partake in the decision with you. It's because I'm going to live there.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. I don't know why. I'm just
Thank
like, you'd let me know what we do. And it's like, no, it's not fair.
Yeah. I can't believe how hard it is to like pull the trigger on buying something.
Okay, let's explain. Well, do you know why it is? It's because it's like hard-earned money.
Hard-earned money, and like, you really want to make sure, like, there's a lot of slippage in buying and selling a home, and so you really want to make sure, like, you choose the right one, and that one doesn't come up a week or two later that is the same price range, but like you like a lot more. And so the cost of getting it wrong is just like, especially in Austin where the houses are so different. Like the styles of the homes we've been looking at are so different.
They're cool though.
Yeah.
This back house situation they do here is sick.
Yeah, I love
I've
it.
never seen that anywhere else. But okay, so explain, so last week we didn't really explain about the lot. We love dressing Tate in magnetic meat and we've got 15% off for new customers, which is incredible because I love their pajamas. We also love putting her in magnetic meat because it's so easy, you guys. And trust me, there are plenty of new surprises and new experiences in parenthood. For example, you can't feed your kid water. We didn't know that. At every turn, there's a curveball and changing these babies is like changing a cat, quite literally. And the enemy is buttons. Buttons are not allowed in this household. What is allowed? Magnetic me, because you magnet one together and the rest, they fall into place. So the point is use your time wisely. We're not sleeping a lot, but what we are doing where we are cutting corners is this magnetic me because it just makes things easier and we get to spend time doing things that we love, not using buttons. So changing time has never been so quick and easy and we want you to experience this for your little one too. Also, this makes a great gift. Order Magnetic Me today for yourself or as a gift for any parent. Go to magneticme.com. New customers will get 15% off their first order. Don't wait. That's magneticme.com.
Okay, so here's the situation. We have a deal to buy our current house. That deal, a couple things need to happen. We have some proposed renovation plans or expansion plans. So we're understanding the feasibility of those, both in terms of like, can we do it? And also the price of doing it and also the timeline of doing it. So if we can make everything work with our current house, great, as it comes to those three things of renovation, feasibility, price, and time, love it. If we can't, then we'll be out of this house. And it's crazy because like we have a week to hopefully get to the bottom of it and hopefully we can make it work, and we're busting to get to the end, but we will see. I'm hopeful I'm confident that I think, what do you say? Like you've been saying something about this. You've been so unbelievably patient. Like what's meant to be will be.
Yes.
Yeah. You're just really trusting the process. So I don't know. That's a little blabber. I'm sure there's more detail to it that I'm sure we'll get into over time, but
It's also just like not that simple with this house, right? Like there's this thing called like permeated coverage or something, which is like the amount you're allowed to build. So
I see.
what?
Impervious coverage.
Impervious coverage.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to just be like, we could probably add a master downstairs. It's like, no, you either can or you can't if you're maxed on this impervious coverage situation. So,
and then there's FAR, and
Yes.
there's several of these things that I'm learning. And shout out Google AI Studio, because it has been an unbelievable teacher as it pertains to understanding what is happening in this house. I've taken every document that we've gotten. So like the inspection report, the seller disclosure report, this house is zoned weird. So like I've taken all those zoning docs and I put them all into Google AI Studio, and I've just been firing questions. So you get the inspection report. It's like, hey, what in this inspection report are you concerned about? What should we look more into? And the seller's disclosure report, same thing. And it's been super
seller
helpful.
disclosure report?
The seller disclosure report is everything the seller knows that's wrong with the house.
And legally, they have to disclose it.
Yes.
Because so an inspector comes and inspects and says, oh my God, the water's not up to code. And then when the seller sells it, they have to disclose that.
They're two separate things. So like the inspector came in and looked at a whole bunch of stuff throughout the house. One thing that he said needed to be fixed was the roof. So that's part of the price that we need to account for. Fixing a roof feels like a pretty common thing when buying a house. So like annoying, but not a deal breaker. Versus the seller disclosure report will talk about other things that they may have learned along the way, whether parts of the house have been built illegally, or there's if you're located on a floodplain, or a whole bunch of other random things. I don't know if I did a good job with that. But
And they have to disclose it.
legally, yes, but I do think that there's probably a lot of gray area where it's like, well, what are they? Their interest is getting the house sold.
Right. So I would think that that's kind of a big gray area.
But I think you get in a lot of trouble if it comes out that you did know about something and you didn't disclose it. Like if you knew there was mold and you didn't disclose it, and we found out there was mold, and then we call you on it and we reach out to a company that confirms that you'd spoken to them about it, then I think you're getting a lot of trouble. So that's why it's important that, when you buy a house, you understand its condition, and when you sell it, selling it honestly, which is obviously what we will do at the point that we sell our home.
Well, I just think you got to rely on karma there.
Yeah.
These seller disclosures, you know, because I could see knowing there was mold, but maybe not saying it, and that's so messed up.
Have I ever told you about the change of when karma entered my life?
No, when did it?
We called it travel karma.
Okay.
Yeah. And when we were on exchange, anytime we did something bad, we would get hit with travel karma.
Oh, okay, keep going. So what? So you would do something bad, like what?
I just don't know if I want to talk about the bad things that I did on exchange.
Well, like
we broke rules. We break rules.
Okay, like you skipped a class.
Oh no.
Oh, well.
We broke rules.
Like what? We need an example. This is a family podcast.
Let's just leave it at broke rules.
I'm
for
sorry.
Another time.
And I want to respect you here. I do, but if it's not skipping class, sneaking out, having some
Yes, Alex. We would sneak out in college. You're totally correct.
having some beers before class.
So every time we would break a rule, we felt like we would get hit with travel karma. Like a flight would be canceled, or
What's a rule?
We'd hit like a massive traffic jam and would miss our train. And we got hit with enough travel karma that it changed my approach to karma.
Well,
we broke a lot of rules on exchange, so we were not the best kids.
cheating, Could you I won't press you any further than this moment right here, but imagine if you're the listener. What rule could you break?
Yeah, I mean,
Stealing a muffin?
This is a cliffhanger episode that they're not going to get. And I don't know, maybe we'll launch a Patreon and we can talk all about the rules that we're breaking.
No, we're not going to launch a Patreon and talk about rules you broke.
I'm kidding.
Okay, so then you would go to the airport and like your flight would be canceled.
Yeah.
You'd be going through security and they'd say, nope.
Well, like we'd fly, Ryanair and EasyJet and all the budget airlines. And so, yeah, you would, traveling was not smooth.
Unless you behaved.
And then like traveling was very smooth.
Okay, so you and your buddies would be like at the airport and be like, oh, travel karma. So you started noticing a correlation. The bad things, the rules you would break would equal.
Yeah, like we were in Morocco and we were causing mayhem in Morocco.
Okay.
And we squeezed in the trip. It wasn't, but we needed to be back for exams. Okay. And so like exams started Monday, we're flying back Sunday, and like a volcano explodes.
What'd you guys do in Morocco?
Volcano explodes, and the volcanic ash is in the air and grounds all flights. So we need to take a bus that like leaves, an hour after we kind of realize this is all happening. So we sprint to the bus stop and we have to bus from Marrakesh all the way back to Amsterdam.
The universe was mad at you.
Yeah.
If it's a weighted,
that was the make or break of it all.
If there's a volcano exploded. If there's like a weighted equation of like,
I'm pulling up how long that bus ride was.
How bad your crime was to how bad the natural disaster was, and you guys got a volcano erupting. That probably happens once every 1,000 years. What did you guys do in Marrakesh? Dog lovers, we have 60% off Ollie dog food. And if your dog could talk, they would be begging for Ollie because they literally give you a quiz of what kind of dog food you want. And then they take the quiz and they formulate the dog food and they send it to you and they customize it. So for example, Julie's dog Jenny is allergic to chicken. So Julie gets turkey and beef. And Jenny deserves the same kind of love that you would give to a human, which is if you're allergic to something, they don't eat that kind of dog food. Julie used to cook dog food for Jenny, but Ollie's ingredients are so fresh and so pure and up to her standards that now Jenny eats Ollie. So this stuff it's clean, it's fresh nutrition in 5 drool-worthy flavors. You don't need to be a veterinarian nutritionist to know that real, minimally processed food is the best choice for your dog's health, which is how we would treat our own bodies, so we should treat our dogs the way too. They have no fillers, no preservatives, just real food, and it's gently cooked and delivered fresh. There's no need for artificial shelf life extenders. So you guys will fill out a 30-second quiz. You'll introduce them to your pup, and then they'll send you expert recommendations. You'll get your welcome kit, and the best part about it is Ollie is the only fresh dog food that comes with an unlimited routine health screening, so you can get your pup on the track to living their healthiest, happiest life. Dogs deserve the best, and that means fresh, healthy food. Head to ollie.com/2parents. Tell them all about your dog and use code 2parents to get 60% off your welcome kit when you subscribe today. Plus, they offer a clean bowl guarantee on your first box, so if you're not completely satisfied, you'll get your money back. That's ollie.com/2parents and enter code 2parents to get 60% off your first box.
Let's just look at how long that was.
What did you do in Marrakesh?
So 34 hours.
No.
Yeah.
34-hour bus ride?
But
oh.
Yeah. So I don't know how we got back in time, but we did get back in time. Maybe we took a train as well. I think maybe we bused to Paris and then navigated our way back from Paris.
Now, explain this though. What did you guys do in Marrakesh that was so bad that the volcano erupted and you had to take a bus for 34 hours?
Hold on, I'm trying to figure this out because there's a sea that we had to cover. So how did we get over the sea?
That's a good question. Who were you with?
Alex and Ben.
How old were you? Oh, you were on exchange. So you were in college. What grade did you go on exchange?
Third year. I'd really like to find out this.
Why don't you ask Alex?
Why is my phone working?
Your phone?
Yeah.
Is that karma?
Okay, I guess maybe we took a ferry over.
Wow.
I don't know. It looks like you can drive it, so
Huh.
31 hours. We got in trouble. Yep.
What will you say to Bubber if she runs into karma?
What I'll say is the type of trouble we got into is the type of trouble I expect Bubber to get into. So it wasn't like
Okay.
get locked up and go to jail type trouble, but it was like, get reprimanded and pay fine type trouble.
Slap on the wrist trouble.
Slap on the wrist trouble, yeah.
Not enough trouble to not allow you to come back to America.
Yeah, of course.
Well, I guess you were in Canada.
Yeah.
How would Canada handle that if you were a hostage?
We're good at getting our people back.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
We're
like America.
What's going on over
we
there?
use America to...
Oh, you guys use us?
Of course.
Okay. But, okay, all right. So, let's talk about some good karma.
I love good karma.
I think that, so we had this little incident on this weekend where we went to dinner. And Harrison and I love to just use Apple Pay. Like, I would say eight or 9 times out of 10, like, we don't have our wallets. Would you agree?
Yes.
And we never have our wallets. So
I would say that except when we go for nice dinners.
yeah.
I always bring my wallet for nice dinners.
Okay.
Because one is I feel like nice restaurants don't may not take Apple Pay. And two, like I feel like the vibe at a nice restaurant, you don't want to like get up and do the tap. So I do feel like normally in that situation, I do have my wallet.
Okay, that's fair. It was Bartlett's, which is not like a nice restaurant. Like we were in sweats.
But it is nice.
It is nice. I agree. It's a Houston's and it's a Charleston's and it's a
I think it's tied to that family.
what's the one in New York? Hillstone.
Hillstone.
So
Best burger in New York.
it's that vibe of a restaurant.
Sue me.
And we love it. So we went on Saturday night and we go to pay and Harrison's like, do you take tap to pay? And Patrick, our server's like, no. And we're like, oh, even if we get up and come over to the register, we can't tap to pay. And he's like, no, it has to be a physical card. And Harrison looks at me, he's like, tell me you have your wallet. And I'm like, nope, don't have it. So I was like, you got to go talk to the manager. So Harrison, you get up and he talks to the manager. And what did Eric say?
Yeah, he's like, well, first he said, he was very nice. Like, yeah, no problem. Just give me your ID and email your ID with your phone number to us and we'll void it and then come back and pay next time. And I'm just like, yeah, I don't have an ID either. And he's like, well, I'm sure your wife must. I'm like, knowing her probably not. He's like, wait, so you don't have a credit card and you don't have an ID? And I was like, yes, like we are ridiculous people. And he like got our, I don't know, ridiculousness or uniqueness. And I was like, yeah, like no problem. And sent him the email with the information, just like name. And I did it from, just like name and contact and he voided it and was like, couldn't have been nicer. Luckily my dad taught me a trick about, always keep 100 in the back of your phone. And so I always do that. Funny enough, it was a 50. So we had that 50, which we could give to Patrick. And yeah, the way they just like didn't make us feel bad about the situation. And they were so warm about the situation. Like it felt like a family style restaurant. And they really went down that path. And I think we'll be back there more earlier than we ever would have been based off how that experience paid out. And obviously we'll go back and pay.
Well, yeah, we'll definitely go back and pay. Your mom taught me about keeping the money in the back of my phone case, and you spent mine. Do you remember when? I had the 100 in the back of my phone, and it was on Thanksgiving, and it was after the turkey trot, and we walked by that homeless person, and we like got like 15 steps ahead of him, and Harrison was just like, I gotta get that person money. And I was like, I have the money. And so then and I haven't replaced it and I need to replace it because I don't know how much that meal was, but I feel like our 150 could have covered it.
I think it was 152. So we wouldn't have had money for a tip. So the other funny thing about that Thanksgiving story is we go and yes, you gave me the 100 and I gave it to him. And I'm walking away and we're walking back to go watch the Bears game. And I'm like, holy shit. That homeless guy was wearing a Bears hat. And I went And I bet the fucking house on the Bears money line. And so, because I'm like, that was a sign.
Totally.
Yeah, Bears got smoked. Smoked.
So, it wasn't a sign.
That was a time when karma did not work for me.
No, I don't think you can buy your karma like that, though. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but like, I didn't make the bet for the karma. I made the bet because it felt like a sign. I was feeling good about the Bears. Love the Bears.
Crashed and burned for you.
Yeah. Yeah. But then, funny enough, they made a late comeback and they covered the spread. So I think I just misread what God was trying to tell me.
God was just confusing you that day.
Yeah. Well, God was talking in South and I was talking in North, and so we just spoke past each other.
Oh, he was being like, he was sort of talking around the point. You wanted him to be more direct.
Yeah, it's like, God, like, tell me what to do. Tell me where to bet.
That's funny. I've never really heard you say anything like that. And so that was our dumb thing. Well, then we actually go out. You guys probably saw I made a video about this, but then we go out to the car and the car was on. And all this to say, like, Harrison and I we haven't been sleeping a ton because we're going through a sleep regression. And oh my God, wait, what happened with you and your phone?
Oh, that was amazing.
What did you do? I wasn't with you.
So, I went to HEB, which like is an unbelievable grocery chain. And I'd never actually been before moving to Texas. Their meats, that's where I've been buying a lot of my meat.
We're doing a brisket night.
So the brisket upstairs that hopefully we're smoking on Friday is from there. The ribs that we did on the other rib night is from there. And I was in there and like I was doing calls. And I like picked up, it was actually the night that we went and picked up the ribs and I got the brisket. And so I'm cruising and I'm on with my business partner, Alex, and go check out, whatever, get back to put the groceries in the car, put the cart away, and start driving off. And I'm driving off, and the phone cuts out. I'm just like, oh shit. Call him back. I'm like looking for the phone. Phone is not in the car, and I realize I put my phone in the shopping cart. Mm-hmm. And you know me, like I'm a terrible multitasker, and so like I'm only focused on the one thing, and so I like turn around, and I'm just like looking at this like big HEB parking lot because the HEB parking lots are massive.
And your phone's in a shopping cart.
Luckily I put the shopping cart away. Well, no, this is like karma going against me. If I just like left the shopping cart like beside the car, I would have found it. I put the shopping cart away. So I'm looking, and obviously I didn't remember where I parked the car, but you just have the beeper to figure it out. So I have no, like direction. I'm in one of these 3 lanes,
which are huge lanes.
Each of these 3 lanes has 3 shopping carts thing. So I just like stop the car and start sprinting through each one and just like inspecting the shopping carts to find my phone. And on the first row it wasn't there. On the second row, second shopping cart stack, it was there.
Wow.
Yeah.
And there was your phone.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. So we are just like really crushing life right now.
Well, I got to give it to you because last night okay, we'll dive into the sleep regression situation now. Cry it out versus not cry it out. So what happened was we transitioned her out of the snoo. And the first night, did it go well?
First night was a breeze. Remember, you showered. When you were showering, she like kind of fell asleep on the bed, and I just put her in the crib, and she, boom, 7 a.m.
Yeah, she slept. So she slept her 10 hours in her Merlin suit, which is the marshmallow suit. Guys, we have 40% off of Hungry Root, which is the best because it's busy season. Everyone's got so much going on. We blew right past that new year and now we're into busy season. Hungry Root is like having your own personal shopper because one thing that happens when we're busy, we can't forget to eat because then we get hangry and it goes to the back burner, but it's truly the most important thing that we can prioritize. Hungry Root takes care of the weekly grocery shopping, recommending healthy groceries tailored to your tastes, nutritional preferences, and health goals. They make it easy to eat high-quality, nutritious food and achieve any diet or health goals, from anti-inflammatory to gut-friendly to gluten-free to dairy-free, high protein, and so much more. It's the best because they have options for the whole family. So you go on there, you fill out the quiz. The quiz is so much fun. And then boom, it arrives to your door and it's everything that you need. I love Hungry Root. So you guys, take advantage of this exclusive offer. For a limited time, get 40% off your first box plus get a free item in every box for life. Go to hungryroot.com/justalex and use code justalex. That's hungryroot.com/justalex, code justalex to get 40% off your first box and a free item of your choice for life. hungryroot.com/justalex, code justalex. And then from there, every night we've been waking up. And so we noticed she started sleeping on her side. So we were like, maybe she wants her sleep sack. So we've moved her into a sleep sack now. And she's like rolling over some, not rolling over some, like really trying to figure it out in there. But the point, like every 2.5 hours, she's just waking up crying. Poor thing.
And not happy.
She's not happy. Yeah, she's scared.
Understandable.
And last night I told Harrison, like, my brain, I can tell when I'm like, yesterday I could hardly function. So I was like, I need a good night's sleep. And he's like, I got this. So we put her to bed last night. We've tried all these nighttime routines to like let her know it's night time. And she just wakes up hysterical. So last night, Harrison turned on my sound machine, shut the door, and he slept in the guest bedroom and went back and forth between her room. And you tried this new method, which, to be clear here, I can't do a cry it out.
So basically what happened is I tried to talk to you about the housing stuff before bed. Mm-hmm. And you were just like, I am so tired. I don't know the words that are coming out of your mouth. And so when you said that, I was very much like, okay, I need to, like, you need your sleep and I need a.
Aspen was 3 weeks ago and it started there.
Yeah. Yeah. But like yesterday was like one of the first days that like, if you communicated that like you were not, like your brain was not fully functioning. Mm-hmm. And so as you were going to bed, I texted Haley and I was like, all right, I figure I'm going to take the lead on this. So I texted Haley. I go, she wakes up 2 hours after we put her to bed. And she was like, do you want my advice? And I loved it because she didn't just like throw her advice on me. And I feel like we just get like annihilated with advice from people. And I was like, yes, I would love it. So she's like, what I did is the 5, 10, 15 method. And what that is when you hear them cry, you wait 5 minutes and then you go in and you don't take them out of the bed. You just speak to them very softly for 30 seconds to 60 seconds and like rub their belly and just say, hey, hey, we love you and it's time to go to bed. And so what I was saying to her last night is like, you'll go to bed and then you'll wake up and you go play with Winnie and we're going to have a very nice day. And then after 30 seconds to a minute, I'd leave. And then next time, if she starts crying, you let her cry for 10 minutes and then 15 minutes. And then at 15 minutes, you keep repeating for every 15 minutes. So that lasted about an hour and a half. But at the hour and a half, but I could tell in the last 2 to 3, you could see directionally she was getting more calm and getting closer to sleep. And like I was watching her on the monitor. We need a new baby monitor. I really don't like the one we're using right now.
Okay.
And I'm not going to throw their name under the bus. But I was like watching her like a TV show, and you like see, you know, she'd play with the side of the bed and then she'd kind of come in and out. I think that she was trying to roll on her front and she couldn't. And so that was like a big roadblock. But long story short, well, long story long, because I've been rambling. After an hour and a half, she did go to bed and she slept through till 5, and we did it once at 5 and then once again at 6. And then this was a great example of, it felt like with the sleeping, we got really lucky with the snoo where like that worked for her. And
well, the night nurse got her on
Yes.
her snoo method and then pass it to us, but we were able to maintain it.
Totally. And now like we're getting our ass kicked, but I have hope in this method, and it's not too much. It wasn't too much cried out. So I'm excited to see how it transgresses over the next couple nights. And like, if it doesn't work, my vote will be to bring in some external help and bring in a sleep coach.
Yeah, so the sleep coach, I contacted her today, and she's ready to go when we're ready if we want to. I do love that you do want to try and figure it out yourself. So what I'm worried about with Cry It Out
Yes.
is I was reading this thing about how it makes them defensively independent, right? So like they say, okay, no one's coming to get me. And at the end of crying it out, if you just leave them crying it out for, let's say, an hour and they fall asleep, it's not that it worked. It's not that, oh, I got her to fall asleep. It's that they gave up, that they decided their emotional security was abandoned. And so they're like, no one's coming to get me. So then they go to bed, and it makes them independent in a defense kind of way.
And that makes sense to me. What I liked about this method is it's caps at 15. So they don't go more than 15 minutes on their own. And the way Haley explained this one to me is what this is doing is you teach them to, they've learned how to go to sleep a very specific way with us holding them, us rocking them. But what they haven't learned is how to go to sleep after they wake up. So this is just giving them enough time for them to teach themselves how to put themselves back to sleep. But also by going in the 5 minutes, the 10 minutes, the 15 minutes, you're letting them know you're there and you're not abandoning them.
Yeah, so we haven't talked about this yet today, so I'm glad we're doing it now in the first like round here live on the pod, because I was also seeing when they're in the state of crying for an hour, they can be hypervigilant, or like their cortisol will spike, right? And that's not good for a baby. And that's in the cry it out phase. So I like this 5, 10, 15. It feels like a middle ground of like you are going in there, but they are learning and not taking her out of the crib. Like I'm feeling good about this the way you're describing it.
Yeah, it was one of those things that like I figured we had no method going into last night. You know, if I'm going to do night duty, this feels like a very reasonable method to try. And I think it went as good as it could on the first night, and let's just see how it goes from here. I'd like never heard of this before. She texted a chart on what to do. It was great.
I mean, it's,
and then I was giving updates to ChatGPT throughout the night.
Stop it.
Yeah.
Do you have those?
Yes, I was doing it on my laptop. So let's just see if they came through. But like, I asked it some follow-up questions like, what do you do about the passy? You know, this is now my third cycle. You know, do you think I should I keep going, or should I try a reset? And ChatGPT was very empathetic.
What'd they say? Were they empathetic towards her?
They're very empathetic towards her and towards, the feeling of a parent. So it's like, hey, we understand how hard the emotional distress may be of hearing your baby cry. So if you do want to pick them up and you know, reset and give them a hug and a kiss, then please do. So I'm on we started a new ChatGPT thing for our company, which is on my laptop, and it hasn't transferred to my phone.
Oh, okay. So you don't have them.
So this is like all my old stuff.
Is it hard for you when she is in there crying?
You know, I was watching her, and
I can't do it.
Obviously, it's terrible to see her cry, but she didn't like ever look like she was in a panic or distress. Like she looked like she was trying to like work through the problem. I think this kid wants to sleep on her stomach more than anything, and couldn't get on her stomach. That was like my key conclusion.
Well, there was the night that I put her on her stomach and she slept.
But I asked ChatGPT, that's a great example. I saw her trying to get on her stomach, and I was like, am I allowed to put her on her stomach? And they said, no, you are not allowed to do that.
Did you say why? ChatGPT? Why?
Should I get my laptop? It's right there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very nice.
Can I go on Twitter as well or no?
No. Parents have a lot of gross jobs, and one of the worst can be the nasal care for your little ones. I can't tell you how many times Tate has woken up in the morning, we put the bottle in her mouth, and then I realized she can't breathe out of her sweet little nose because you guys, their nose and their nasal pathways are so small. That's why Navage Baby's new baby aspirator and inhaler are the best for mom and dad tools. They're designed to last longer and offer baby-safe pediatrician recommended congestion relief. So there's the aspirator and there's the inhaler. This aspirator is the most gentle tool that you stick up their nose, you turn it on, and it sucks out their snot, and it's like manual suction. The collection cup is 40% larger than other leading brands, and a unique overflow protection features that keep the sealed control buttons to help it keep working smoother, and it lasts longer. You guys, it's the best. You stick it up there, you turn it on, and it sucks out their snot, and it does it gently. Like, she doesn't even cry when we do it. Then there's the baby inhaler, which it is a quiet, continuous mist of drug-free, sterile saline solution with no breakdown, and it just gets the congestion, it moisturizes the pathways, and it soothes the baby's upper respiratory system. So these things are so important. Navage Baby Aspirator and Inhaler. Get easy relief for your little ones and make parenting one job less messy. Order the new Navage Baby Aspirator and Inhaler today. You can find them now at Navage Baby at Walmart or at walmart.com. Again, get Navage Baby at Walmart or walmart.com. We have 20% off my favorite lactation cookies. You guys, these things are so delicious that Harrison eats them, even though they are for me because they do increase my milk supply. So these lactation cookies, Miracle Milk Cookies, they are delicious. They are nutrient-packed cookies that support milk production naturally. Made with organic ingredients, milk-boosting ingredients like oats, flax, and brewer's yeast. They taste like a cookie fresh out of the oven, and they seriously do. And you get to eat two. It's amazing. My favorite is the oatmeal chocolate chip. That's also Harrison's favorite. You guys, these lactation cookies, they really do work like a miracle, and I gave them to the neighbor, and we both were obsessed with them. And because you know that you deserve a treat, we're offering an exclusive deal just for you guys. So use the code 2parents at checkout to get 20% off your order. But hurry, this is only valid until June 30th. Head to Miracle Milk Cookies, which is Miracle, MILKOOKIES.com, so there's no C, to shop and use the code 2parents to unlock your discount. Trust me, you'll be so glad you did.
Okay, I said, should I turn her on her stomach if that helps her get to bed? And it said, awesome that you asked. This is super important. Checkmark. If your baby rolls to her stomach on her own, totally fine to leave her there. At 6 months, if she can roll both ways, back to tummy and tummy to back, it's safe for her to sleep on her stomach. You do not need to flip her back. And then it has an X, and it says, but don't turn her on her stomach yourself if she can't get there independently yet. That's a SIDS risk, especially under 1 year old. Safe sleep guidelines from AAP, the American Academy of Pediatrics, say always put babies down on their back to sleep. Once they can roll, you let them pick their position, but you shouldn't position them on their tummy manually.
Okay, but she can roll front to back and back to front. But it still says you shouldn't.
And then it says TLDR, because it knows I'm a big TLDR guy. Check. Let her stay on her stomach if she gets there herself. X. Don't place her that way unless she's rolling there independently.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very helpful. So all night long you were just chatting.
Yeah.
You had a friend?
Is there a limit for how long to do the 5, 10, 15? I'm now in my second round of 15.
What did it say? Is there a limit?
Hold on. This is amazing response. You're doing amazing hanging in there. This part is so hard, especially in the middle of the night. Heart. To answer your question. Yeah, this thing's fucking amazing.
Yeah, I'm so glad you had a friend up with you. I had no idea.
Yeah. I mean, I'm like scrolling essays here.
But what did it say about, is there a limit to the 5, 10, 15 method? Heart.
Technically no hard limit, but most experts suggest if you're hitting 60 to 90 minutes total crying with check-ins and your baby's still fully awake and upset, it's okay to 1, take a short break or consider it a missed sleep window, especially for naps, and then try again after a short break. Since you're on your second 15-minute round, here's a possible timeline. And it said, It said if she keeps crying, you could try one more 15-minute round, getting close to 60 total, and then decide if you want to keep going, if you feel okay, and she's not escalating. Oh, so that's what it talked a lot about. Is like, is she escalating or de-escalating? And I noticed that she was getting better over time.
So she was de-escalating.
De-escalating, yeah.
Okay. Fascinating night you had. So overall, you slept from what?
Well, the problem is so I was watching her, and then once she like went down, I was like zooming in on the thing because she'd be on her side to like see if her eyelids were open or not, and they like go shut, and they come on, you gotta close them. You're like cheering them on, and then finally, like I was like, all right, I'll give it 15 minutes before I go to bed. So I started the new Netflix Kill Tony.
Oh.
And it was very good. So I watched that.
Surprised you're a Kill Tony watcher.
Yeah, I didn't think I would be, but yeah, Shane Gillis was so fucking funny. He was so good on it that yeah, it just hurt me. And they had that Adam Ray guy on who I really like.
You love comedy.
This Adam Ray is going to Dallas. He's going to San Antonio. He's not coming to Austin. I'm like in his comments. I'm like in his DMs. Like, dude, like, come on.
Not going to Austin?
And like, I'm sure he's going to do like a pop-in at the mothership, but like, that doesn't help me. I need to know a date so I can plan around it.
You're DMing him?
Fucking Adam Ray.
You're telling him?
Yeah, he's great. I think he's one of the more underrated guys out there right now. People like him for his like Biden and Dr. Phil bits. I think his own stand-up, his crowd work is some of the best in the game.
Okay, I mean, I couldn't pick him out of a lineup, but I'm so happy that you love him.
Yeah, he's good.
I would love to go see him with you.
Yeah, I'm gonna DM him now.
Yes, and shoot him a DM, but just tell us what you say out loud.
Okay. Should I email him?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. I'll do it after. It's going to take too long.
You should definitely email him and just make it thoughtful. Comedy's
it's not it's not him, it's his manager, but
just let his manager know like comedy's big here in Austin.
Well, I'm sure he's doing the mothership stuff.
Well, can we just get a date?
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Just at least tell him just to respond with the date of the mothership with a wink wink so we can just get tickets.
Okay, I'm going to ask.
It's getting harder to eat out with Bubber. She picked up a plate the other day and just dropped it. Dropped it on the floor.
Yeah, I don't know if she dropped it or she threw it. But
it shattered everywhere. And we just were like, oh my gosh, because I used to look at parents and see their kids like throwing stuff on the floor. And I would just be like, are they serious? They're going to let their kid do that? And now I realized she has no control. It's not her fault. She can't hold on to it for long.
Yeah, we need to figure out the entertainment program at the restaurant. Like our program at the restaurant, so the first 6 months was smooth because she would just sleep. But she now needs to be entertained, and like her crawling all over the table is just like, that's not the solution, because obviously like that isn't what anyone around us wants, and like it's not in her control. And so hopefully we can like find the
she wants things to play with.
Yeah, so I think like we didn't bring toys for her.
I know we always bring toys these days.
Crazy.
I know.
Like, I hope like I don't want us to start with the screen time yet. Like,
no,
it feels way too early. So hopefully we can do toys.
We can do toys.
Yeah.
We need to get the high chair, and then we need to give her like, she loves her little cups in her bowls and she sucks on them. So we need to remember to take that. It's like crucial.
I mean, we can't remember our wallets to a restaurant. How are we going to remember the toys for our kid?
That's a good point. Maybe we should set we should set a pile of toys on a pile, but a couple cups in the car.
Done.
Okay. What you DM'd me.
What did I DM you?
The laptop thing.
I can't see.
Laptops.
And what was it again?
It was that laptops are bad to have them in your proximity. Laptops shouldn't sit on your lap. That's what it is.
Oh, I DM'd you something about a study with about the harms of laptops being on your lap. And as someone who sleeps with their laptop in the bed, if it turns out if there are issues with laptops being by the body, I'm going to be pissed because it is not marketed it's not market like they're not clear enough if they're causing harm.
They are. If you go into your like settings and you go into the disclaimers, there's this thing called RF exposure, which is like your radio frequency. And the iPhone and the laptop tell you that it's like high. So what Julie was telling me earlier is
wait, can we I love that you did research. But to me, that research proved my point. Like, you're telling me I need to go in my settings to find out I can't put this on my lap. It should
Apple's
say
a big
on the
corporation.
bottom.
They don't care if they say, "Hey, this is going to cause all this harm." No one's going to buy it.
Can we ask ChatGPT to quantify that exposure and how bad it is for you?
Can I tell you this?
Yeah.
It suggests
Yeah.
that you use third-party electronics like headphones or the speaker function. It doesn't. Apple literally says, "We don't suggest you do this. You don't put it up to you. We suggest you use the speaker and leave it away from you."
Yeah, this to me is like a class action lawsuit. Feels like a class action lawsuit waiting to happen.
But it won't be passed because it's in there. Technically, they say they told you.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you the waiver you sign when you get a new iPhone says you click the box and you sign your signature. It's a big corporation.
This is so misleading to me. Like, do we know how harmful this stuff is?
Very.
I'm just like, I'm hoping that Jules can quantify it with ChatGPT.
There's too much information on ChatGPT.
So my go-to is, please respond in one line as we are recording a podcast.
Oh, wait, there's a TLDR at the end. It does say that exposure from laptops is minimal and considered safe. But if you're sensitive, be cautious.
Okay.
Okay, so what I'd love to now know is, so what's the metric? How much, what does it radiate?
How much radiation does it put off?
Yeah. And then how much are we concerned about? It's a research-based podcast. I mean, I'm waiting for the ChatGPT sponsorship.
Are they doing those?
I feel like they need to.
Harrison, you're really putting me on the spot here. Laptops emit about 0.1 to 1 watt of RF radiation, which is below harmful levels. If you're concerned, create a little distance. It's not telling me what the harmful levels are.
Well, we got to ask it, and we got to tell it to answer in one line.
A laptop emits RF radiation far below harmful levels, typically around 0.1 to 0.5 watt per kilogram, compared to the safety limit, which is 1.6 to 2.0 watts per kilogram.
That to me feels gray.
The phone emits up to 1.6.
That's more.
That's in the harmful level.
Oh my God. And some people sleep with their phones underneath their pillows.
Julie
like
does.
me.
So the phone puts out more radiation.
Yes. Much higher than the laptop.
Yeah, this to me needs to be communicated way more clearly.
Yeah, we need to get the phones away from us.
We cannot be hiding this in terms and conditions.
But they say that they can because you signed the waiver when you sign up for the iPhone.
Yeah, I get that you can. I'm saying we as a society, we can't be doing that.
We need to hold them more accountable.
Yes.
Starting with this podcast.
Yes.
We're on the early stages. Don't throw it towards me.
That was like a very weak throw.
Well,
Let me rethrow that.
No. Leave them there. Okay, so that's what you DM'd me. Very interesting. And now typically we would roll into brain break, except so Harrison had a great brain break. Only problem is neither of us can remember what it was.
Wasn't there a comment we wanted to respond to that was really good?
I would say the theme of the comments.
Oh, that's what it was.
What was it?
There was something from the comments.
See?
You're gonna say the theme of the comments. Oops.
Now he's reaching back to his phone, which is the radiation.
Yeah, well, worth it for the views.
The theme of the comments is that I don't know how to make spaghetti. That would be the main theme, I would say, is that I posted this spaghetti. So I love food in a solo cup. Always have. If I'm on the go, like I'll put eggs or ground turkey in a cup. Last night I put spaghetti because we were walking to the elementary school nearby, checking out their, what was it? Multicultural today? The Multicultural Fest, I think. And the internet was like, that's not real spaghetti. And it's not, because I ran out of vodka pasta sauce, which is sad for me, but I go through about a jar every month. Have you found it yet? I can only talk to myself for so long. I actually can talk to myself for a pretty long time, but in this instance, I'm hungry and my boobs are filling up with milk. H, what was the comment? Harrison.
I'm looking. I can't find it.
Have you ever seen Ferris Bueller's Day Off?
Yeah, but I don't remember it.
Bueller. Bugman. He has the
Okay.
glasses on.
All right. I don't think we have it.
Okay. Yeah.
I feel like my mic wasn't close enough all episode.
This is like the definition of our lives right now. You had such a good brain break and you're like, this is what I want to do for brain break. And neither of us wrote it down. And if we don't write it down, then we don't have it. So I'll just ask you this. Are you watching any good shows? You're watching Adolescence. What do you think of it? So is your mom. What do you think of it?
I'm not watching that show.
Oh, I saw it up the other day. You know, they did it all in one take, which is what's fascinating about it.
You know, I'm not. I need new shows.
You should try Adolescence. She's really liking it.
I rewatched Sicario. It's such a good movie.
What is it?
Sicario.
Okay. Sicario.
Yeah.
I would love to go to the theater soon. It's just tough though because we
Can
can't.
you bring babies to movie theaters?
I don't think it's the best form.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
I think that there's a lot of other places to take babies. I think right now she would do some ooh in the middle, which could be tough because technically you can't tell her not to do that.
Yeah.
So I don't think a movie. And here's the thing: I don't want to get a babysitter to go to a movie. Do you?
No, I'm trying to think of what this brain break was. It's too bad.
I know it is too bad, but I think we'll just wrap it up here because it was a great episode. Sleep regression.
Julie and Janine Paris.
Harrison still wants to go to Paris. I have cold feet about the situation. I said the max I could go is 2 weeks. So we'll see how it all shakes out. There's a lot of unknowns. Okay, well, we love you guys.
Thank you for listening.
Thanks for listening to another episode of Two Parents in a Podcast, powered by Just Media House. If you enjoyed the show, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, rate, and review. Stay connected on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and Facebook at Two Parents in a Pod. Welcome to our home. Sorry it's so messy. New episodes every Thursday.